this is Jamie with Creations Misfit, and today I'm going to show you how to make a heart pillow. So what you will need is some size 6. I use the chenille yarn. This is Baby Bee Snugs and Kisses that I'm going to use today, but on my all my other pillows I used Bernat blanket yarn. So you can use any yarn you like, but this is a really soft, bulky yarn, which is nice for the pillows. And then on top of that, you will need a pair of scissors, a yarn needle to sew in your ends, and a stitch marker because we're going to be working in the round. So you'll want to mark your stitch. And you will need a 9mm hook. If you do, let me show you here. I have 2 sizes. It's the same stitches. It's just dependent upon what size hook you use. So this is a 9. This is 9 inches across, and we're going to use a 9mm for that. That's the one I'm going to do today. And this one is a little bit smaller. It's 7 inches across. And if you'd like to do that one, you can use a 7mm hook. I also am going to make a tutorial for a larger one. This one is 11 inches across, and this uses different stitch count. So I'm going to do that in the next day or two, and I'll link that in the description box below. Okay, so to get started, we are going to start with a magic circle. And let me cut this. If you don't like working with the magic circle or you're unfamiliar with it, I do have a tutorial I will put in the description box below, or you can single crochet 4, slip stitch to the first, and then work inside that circle. But this is how I do mine. I just lay it over 3 fingers, cross it over in the back to make an X. I go under the first piece and over the second one, and then pull up a loop. And then we're going to chain 1 from there. So I just chain 1 while it's still on my hand. Makes it a little bit easier. All right. And from here, we're going to do 8 single crochet inside the circle. So go ahead and do your 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to pull your circle closed. Now with this yarn, I've actually started this video 5 times because I kept breaking my yarn. So you don't want to pull so hard that it's going to break, but just pull as best as you can. And if you have to sew that in later to close up your hole a little bit, that's fine. Just because this yarn is, you know, a little bit harder to pull. All right, so from here, we are going to single crochet into this very first stitch that we started with. So you want to make sure you're getting into that first stitch and not the chain. So you might want to count your stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry about my nail polish. It's been pulled off when I was trying to pull this earlier in a video. All right, so go into that very first stitch and do a single crochet. And then we're going to mark that stitch with our stitch marker. Since we work in the round, it's just easier to keep track. All right, and then we're going to go in that same stitch again and do another single crochet. Okay, so we're doing increases, and we're going to do an increase in every stitch around. We're going to do 2 single crochet in each of the 8 stitches around. So you should have 16 single crochet at the end of this round. You can pause the video and do yours, and I will meet you right back. Okay, at the end of this round, you should have 16, and we're going to move on. So I'm going to remove this stitch marker, and in that very first stitch, we're going to do 1 single crochet, and then we are going to mark it with our stitch marker. Okay, that's the first stitch of the next round. And in the next stitch, we're going to do an increase. So we're going to do 2 single crochet in this next stitch. And then that's going to be our pattern all the way around. 1 single crochet and 2 in the next. And if you'd like to pause the video and do yours, I will see you back at the end. You should have 24 single crochet at the end of this round. Okay, at the end of round 3, you should have 24 stitches, and we're going to start round 4. So for round 4 and 5, it's both, you're going to do the same thing for both rounds. We're going to do a single crochet in every stitch around. So make sure you mark that very first stitch So you should have, this is round 4, you're going to do 24 single crochet all the way around. And then for round 5, you're going to do the same thing, 24 single crochet all the way around. So do both rounds, pause the video, do both rounds, and I will see you right back. All right, at the end of round 5, we are going to just clip our yarn here. So I do a chain and then kind of leave a little bit of a tail here and pull that through. And then we are going to try and make this so that it's not so large here for when we connect it with the other side. So next to this, where your your stitch marker is, we're going to put our yarn hook through that next stitch, but put it in through the back way. Okay, just set it through like that and pull this piece of yarn through to the back. All right, kind of give that a nice little tug. And then where the stitch marker is, we're going to put our yarn hook in the back loop there. If you can see where your stitch marker is, put it through the back hook, back loop, and just pull that yarn through, and then do a chain 1. That will give it like a little knot. And then you can pull that. Okay, and then you can take your stitch marker out. And that's one side of the top of our heart. So we need to make one more of these before we put it together. So go ahead and redo the exact same thing that we just did up to round 5, but don't tie off. Just leave your yarn on there. Okay, so pause the video, do one more side like this, starting with the magic circle, the 5 rounds, and I will see you back. All right, I just finished round 5 on the second piece, and we're going to start round 6. So go ahead and remove your stitch marker, and we're going to do a single crochet and put our stitch marker back in. And we need to do 12 total single crochets. So that was the first one. Do 11 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, I can't remember if I counted the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, and 12. All right, from here we are going to attach our other piece. So go ahead and grab your other piece. And you can see where we have the tie off there. That's the stitch you're going to go into first. Okay, and we just tied it in the back, so make sure that you pick up this front loop too. We're just going to leave our hook. Hopefully you can see that. We're going to leave our hook on here and go right under both of these 2 pieces here. Okay, and we're just going to do a single crochet to attach. And then we're going to stay on that second piece there. And we're going to do 23 single crochets around this entire piece. We just did the first one, and we'll have a total of 24 on each piece, if you remember. So we need to do 23 more. So go ahead and do your 23. Just go right into the next stitch here and go all the way around. I like to count them because you want to make sure that you have 24 before going on to the next piece. So do 24, and then I will meet you right back. Okay, I did my 24, and then we're going to pick up where we left off on the first piece. So we did that 1 to attach here, and we're going to go into the next one there and do a single crochet. And we'll do 12 total here. So that counts as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Okay, so we did 12 to start on the first piece, and then we went around and did attached and did 24 on the second piece, and then 12 to finish up. And if there's a hole here, that's fine. We're going to close it up. I just realized I don't believe because I said I recorded the beginning of this so many times, I don't believe on this recording that I told you to get some polyfill, which is what we're going to fill the heart with. So you will need some sort of filling if you use pillow filling or polyfill. I get this one from Hobby Lobby, this premium polyester polyfill, because it's the cheapest one I could find. It's like $3 for a big bag. Everywhere else for the same bag is like $6 or $9. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there. Okay, so when we get back to the beginning here, just go ahead and pull your pull a loop a little bit. We're going to close this up in the middle here. So I just want you to go under the stitch where the hole is on both sides. And then you have that piece that was hanging off here that we had tied on. Just pull that underneath the stitches. Pull it through. And then flip it over and reinsert your hook and pull it through again. And then you can do it again. You can do it as many times as you need. Usually I do about 3 times. And then on the last time, I pull it through to make a knot. Just make a knot and pull tight there. And if you flip your piece over, you'll see there's no hole there anymore. Okay? And you can leave all these pieces in here. You can tie them in. You can cut them off. If your magic circles aren't tight, you might want to sew that up a little bit. Whatever you got to do. I just leave mine, and then when I fill it, they get buried in there. So, all right. So that was the end of round 6. For round 7 is really easy. Let's remove our stitch marker here, and we are going to do a single crochet in that very first stitch, and then replace our stitch marker. So that's 1, and we're just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around. So you should have 48 stitches total, including that very first one. So just go all the way around and do a single crochet in every single stitch. 48 total. Pause the video and I will meet you back. I've just finished up round 7 and I have 48 stitches. So let's go ahead and start with round 8. We are going to do a single crochet in that very first stitch. And then we're going to do 3 more single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So a total of 4 single crochet. And then we're going to start our decreases here. So for any kind of like amigurumi or something where you're stuffing it, we like to do an invisible decrease. So if you are unfamiliar with a decrease, it's just sewing 2 or stitching 2 single crochets together. But we are just going to go in the very first or front loop of each of the next 2 stitches. So normally for a decrease, you would go under and pull up a loop, and then you'd go into the next one, pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3. We're going to do the exact same thing, but we're just going to go in the front stitch because it leaves it so that you can't tell where the decrease is, the front of the stitch. All right, and if it's hard for you to tell, here's the whole stitch. Here's just the front loop. Here's just the back loop. So we're going to go just in the front loop of these next 2 stitches. So go into the first, yarn over and pull up a loop, and you'll have 2 loops on your hook. And then go right into the next front loop. Okay, yarn over and pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's a single crochet 2 together or a decrease. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that pattern all the way around. We're going to do 4 single crochet in a row, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to do a decrease. So in the first front loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, 2 loops on your hook, go into the next front loop, yarn over and pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. And then 4 single crochet in a row, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a decrease again in the front loops. Sometimes I have to push it with my other finger for this yarn, but it works pretty well. So go ahead and do that all the way around, and I will meet you back after round 8. I'm coming up to the end of the round, and you should end with a decrease, and then you should have 40 stitches all the way around for round 8. Okay? So to start round 9, we are going to remove our stitch marker, and round 9 is real easy. We're just going to do a single crochet in every stitch around. Remember to put your stitch marker back in, and then just do 40 single crochets all the way around for round 9. Pause the video, and I will see you after you've done 40. And at the end of round 9, you will have 40 single crochets, and this is kind of what your heart should be looking like. Okay, so moving on to round 10, we are going to do another decrease round. So single crochet in the very first stitch, and then the next 2 stitches. So we're going to do 3 single crochet all together, and then we're going to do our decrease again, just in the front loops, single crochet 2 together. And that will be the pattern all the way around. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease. All right, so that's the pattern for round 10. I will see you at the end. You're going to end with a decrease here, and you should have 32 stitches at the end of round 10. All right, and moving on to round 11, we are just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So you will have 32 single crochets for round 11, and then I will see you soon. Okay, end of round 11, and if you're not sure which round you're on, if you take a break in between or something, you can always count. Just start with the magic circle ring. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. All right, so moving on to round 12, we are going to do a decrease again. So single crochet in the very first 2 stitches. And then do our decrease in just the front loops again. Invisible decrease. So single crochet 2 together. And then repeat that all the way around. Single crochet 1, 2, and then decrease. And this is for round 12. See you back shortly. Round 12 ends with a decrease, and you should have 24 stitches at the end of round 12. Now I'm going to start stuffing here because it's getting kind of deep. So if you want to start stuffing this round or next round is fine too. So I just take a bunch of stuffing. This actually takes way more than what you'd imagine if you've never stuffed something before. So I go into both sides and make sure I stuff all the way down as far as you can. And then just keep adding stuffing to each side, and you can kind of shape the heart how you want as you go. Oops, sorry. I have my camera on like a thing that moves around a lot. Alright, so just keep stuffing however full you want it. You can check here. And then stuff in the sides a little bit. Okay. All right, so moving on to round 13. We are going to, don't stuff it so much that you can't work, but when I go from here, I kind of just hold my project like this so that the stuffing is on the inside and stays on the inside. All right, so for round 13, we're just going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and you will have 24 single crochets at the end of round 13. So I will meet you back then. All right, I've just finished up round 13, and for round 14, we are going to do another decrease round. So we'll do a single crochet in the very first stitch, and then we'll do our decrease right after. So single crochet 2 together, and that will be the pattern all the way around. 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and I'll see you at the end. The end of round 14, you will end with a decrease, and you should have 16 stitches now. So moving on to round 15, right, 15, yeah, you will do 1 single crochet in every stitch around, and you will have 16 single crochets at the end of this round. So go ahead, pause the video, finish yours up. We're almost done here. At the end of round 15, I start to stuff a little bit more. We just have 2 rounds left, and they get tighter, so you want to get in as much stuff in as you can here. Just add some more wherever you feel like it needs to go. Sometimes you have to stuff in the sides a little bit to shape it. Okay, so for round 16, we are just going to decrease all the way around. So you will start with a single crochet 2 together in the front loops, of course, like we've been doing. Might get a little bit harder here as it gets tighter. Make sure you still mark that first stitch because we have another round after this. But you will do decreases all the way around, and you should have 8 stitches at the end of this round. I just want to say, if you do make this, I'd love to see it. If you're on social media, you can tag me in it. I'm at Creations Misfit on Instagram and on TikTok. And if you would like to subscribe to my channel, I'd love to have you if you're not already subscribed. I have a lot of tutorials up, stitch videos, lots of patterns. Take a look around, see if there's something else you like, and I'll be doing a lot more too. I'm also going to be doing a yarn giveaway pretty soon, so you might want to turn notifications on for that. If you can like this video and leave a comment below, let me know what colors you used or who you made it for or what yarns, anything like that. I'd love to hear how the pattern worked out for you. I always love to hear from people, so I appreciate you being here, and we're almost done now. All right, so we have 1 round left, so stuff whatever needs to be stuffed. Kind of lay it flat and make sure. Sometimes I stuff the top way too much compared to the bottom, so I always have to make sure I'm doing it evenly. Okay, and for this last round, we are going to start with a single crochet in the first stitch. Still going to mark that. And then we're going to do a decrease. So go in the front loops, single crochet 2 together, and then we're going to just repeat that. I think it's 2 more times. So single crochet, and then a single crochet 2 together, and then a single crochet, and oh, we just have 1 left. or if you have one left, just do one at the very end. And then you can take your stitch marker out, and I like to slip stitch to that very first stitch, and then cut my yarn, cut a long tail so that you can sew it in, and you can pull your tail here. If you have any stuffing that you need to do still, just kind of shove it in there and use the back of your hook to push it in, or your finger. Okay, and then you will want to get your yarn needle and thread the needle. And then to close up just this small circle here, I like to just go into the front loops of each stitch around, if you can find them. If you can't, just go through the whole stitch, that's fine. But I just kind of pull up the front loop of each stitch, and it starts to close it up for you. And then pull tight, and then you'll weave your yarn needle through. So you can go through the middle again, or go through the side, wherever you'd like. Go through and pull. You can just go right into the stuffing and find a place to pull through, but don't pull too tight because it will leave an indent in the pillow there. Just kind of pull like that. And I do that at least twice. Just find another place to come through. Don't pull too tight. And if you do pull too tight, you can just kind of pull that back out a little bit. And then you can cut your yarn off there. I'm going to go through one more time. I like doing it. And it makes me feel better that it's more secure. Okay, so pull through lightly. And then you can clip your yarn there. And we are finished. So there's your heart. So thank you again so much. Please let me know also if there's any specific patterns you'd like to learn. Put them in the comments below and I will try to work on those for you. But otherwise, thank you so much for being here. I hope this worked out for you, and I hope that you have a really great day.